Hello, I thought I would share with you what I've been working on this morning. So, I help people with Kajabi. So, I help small businesses make themselves visible and be able to generate their income with Kajabi. I do automations. Automation is the key to a really smooth workflow. So when you've got something to sell, you want somebody able to buy that really easily and be thanked afterwards and feel warm and nurtured and get all the information they need. So if it's a course, they need to be able to log in. If it's a service, need to be able to know how to book that service once post-purchase. But today, we've just been looking at the website element of it. Now, my lovely client, Christina, has excuse me, she has a website already. This is a Wix website, but she's paying for Kajabi, so we'll probably port this over. But for today, she just needs to be able to get her clients to pay for her services and book. Okay, it's as simple as that. She offers counselling services, therapeutic counselling. So I had a look at the service page here, and you'll see this is quite a nicely designed website. Probably using a Wix template, and it's got all the sort of necessary information on it. So I was starting from scratch. At the moment, all I have is a set of brand colours, which I think we're missing some of the brand colours, but it doesn't matter, that can easily be sorted out at a later date. I'm missing a clean copy of the logo, so we've had to work with what we've got on this one. But let me show you what we've done here. So the first thing that we did was went into settings and set up the brand colours in here. So I think Tina had actually done some of this already, but I've been in and checked it all, checked it against the hex numbers. If you have a website and you don't know what your hex numbers are, you can ask your designer if a designer made that for you, or you can just get a little screenshot and put that into Canva. That will give you your hex numbers really easily. So these are Tina's brand colours in here, and the hex numbers I was just talking about. If we have a look, this is the number here. It's got a little hashtag in front of it. So when I knew what her branding colours were, you can click on one of the pre-made ones, click on here and just change that. You can change that to anything you do will change it very slightly. See, it's just moved it up very slightly, but if we change it more significantly, it takes it up lighter. Let's just change that to a D, just see what happens. And it's taken it to a sort of a more green colour. And you see it just moves you around that matrix there. But don't get too wrapped up in brand colours. What I wanted to make sure is that we'd got the logo in here and we've got these brand colours. So her settings are now in place. That was the first thing I checked. Then I wanted to make a web page for her, so I went into website pages. Now it was the first time that we've set up today, so I used a template. I think the template is called, I wrote it down, it's called Emil. It's there are lots of different Kajabi templates, but I picked this one because it's got a nice soft cursive font on here, which echoes Tina's logo. We may keep some of this cursive text in here, we may not. So this is what I began with here. So I'm just going to call this a test page, just so I can show you that here we can customize the page. So we'll just wait for this. It generated a brand new web page for me. Now this is the header, so the header is part of the brand kit and it applies to every web page that you're going to create. Now Tina had this nice gradient effect on her website, so I've recreated that. Again, I'm not sure I've got the hex colors right. We can play around with this to make it darker at that end, lighter at that end. But to do that in Kajabi, I created a little bit of CSS code and entered that into the settings in here, where you've got your guide here. You can pick your primary colors, your border radius, this is where your fonts come in. So the body font in here is called Poppins. This one here, it's a very popular sans serif font. And the heading font, we've used this one here called Sacramento. This can easily be changed. But it does give us an area to, perhaps not in that bit. Here we are, custom code. You can put your custom code in, and this is custom code that I created this morning to give us this gradient effect here. I've not applied it to the footer. Hopefully you can see the difference, and we can apply it to the footer if we wish. So let's just go back on screen. So you can see this is the template that I've used, the base template. I also branded her Kajabi site to say In Harmony Therapies here, that represents her brand. And here you can see the test page we've just created. I'll just delete that because we don't need it, and it's just going to confuse us. And this is the actual page here. This services page is the one I created for her. So here, now again, I've kind of cobbled it together. At the moment, I don't have my client photos, so I don't have a copy of this photograph here. And I just took inspiration from the site here, where we've got this gap in for the trees to come through. Used one of the client photographs I've got of Tina, and I found on Unsplash, which is a fantastic resource for free images. If you don't know, unsplash.com. There are lots of images that you can use for free, and you just credit the photographer somewhere on your website. So if you take an image from there, make sure you do that. And I put that nice image behind Tina's picture, and then took the wording from her existing website with book a session. You can see again the gradient applies to this this call to action button here. Again, that is custom CSS code that I wrote this morning. And then we've got all of the information that I've just taken from Tina's other website, and we've got an opportunity to WhatsApp Christina as well. And the footer, as I've said, is not gradiated. Does not have a gradient at the moment, but I can easily apply that. And I don't have Tina's original logo file, so what I've done is I've just copied one from her. I actually just did a screen grab from her website. It kind of works, but I need to get that. I've asked her if she's got a PNG file without a background, which is what we need here to apply it on top of the Kajabi background colour. If we can't get it, then I can go into Canva and create something. So anything can be done. So let's have a little preview of this. And this represents about 2 hours work this morning. So all of this from scratch in 2 hours. So if we want to book a session, we can now go to the checkout. Whoever wants to book a session would pop in their email, subscribe to the email list, put in their card number for payment. They can choose Apple Pay. They can choose to store this card. So if you are a counsellor and it's multiple sessions, then they can store their card and just buy another one. You can set up your checkouts in different ways as well. You could sell a block of 6 sessions, but that's another video. And then we've got an opportunity to pay here, like really, really important, the opportunity to pay. You'd be amazed how many wonderful websites I've seen with absolutely no opportunity to buy. Sorry, that's her old one, so we're not referring to that one anymore. We're referring to this one here. So let's just go back And back to the preview. I think I've just clicked on the wrong window. So we can see that that book a session works. I can make that button bigger if I want to. But at the minute, this has just gone over to Tina for comment. Also, you might get somebody wanting to ask you questions. So I've put on here this WhatsApp Christina button. So if we click on that, take us through to WhatsApp, and it will start a chat. And there it is. And it automatically will say, I'm interested in your services, because that's something that I set up behind the WhatsApp button. So you can do that. I hope that was useful. I hope that's given you some insight into what I do in a day. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed.